right, so we got the chance to see the holy trinity of cinema.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Martin Scorsese, Flower of the Killer's Moon with Leo, with Robert De Niro.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about it, man. It was an amazing movie.
Yeah, it was really good. I was surprised how well, I'm not going to say how well it was. I mean, it's Scorsese, but seeing it in IMAX was really like such a completely different situation.
Yeah.
This is my first time seeing a Scorsese movie on like
the big screen.
Yeah, so
I believe this is my second. The first Scorsese movie that I got the chance to see in theaters was Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah,
and I believe that was like 10 years ago.
That's a good one too.
10 freaking years ago. Yeah, that was a good one to see.
Yeah,
with Leo doing all those dances.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
So super excited to see this movie, man. I knew it was going to be cinema.
Yeah,
just
for
so
sure.
happy to see quality and substance. That's one thing I'm craving in my movies and content and whatever these days. I want substance.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to get substance. I knew it was going to get good performances. Super excited. Went in with high expectations, and they was met.
Yeah.
And such a brutal story.
Yeah, the story was crazy. I didn't expect
So
it
brutal.
to be like that intense, but no, it was
That
really
story
intense.
is crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So first of all, Chris and I was late.
Were we?
We didn't
because
miss.
we got the wrong time. Yeah,
we
that's
got
right,
the wrong
right.
time. We thought
Yeah.
I brought the tickets again on the app, and I thought I was supposed to be there at a certain time.
Yeah.
I was 15 minutes late, and we got there, and it was like Ridley Scott's Napoleon on the screen.
Right.
So I was like, "Is this movie out yet?" Like I had
Right.
to like start asking people at the movies, like, "Is this like the right movie?"
No, for real. Like I was getting popcorn, and I walked in, and I'm like, "This isn't Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, what's happening right now?"
I was like, "What's happening?" But also, I feel like that promo did its job because it made me like, man, I never seen a war movie on IMAX before.
Mm-hmm.
It looks stunning.
And it looks like
The
that's
war
going
scene
to be
looks stunning.
That's going to be a new tactic in general for marketing. Is like just show a section of the film to draw people in. So
I thought it was very clever, especially with the OG filmmakers like a Ridley Scott getting his little clip shown before Martin Scorsese's movie. Great tactic.
Yeah.
I'm actually more interested. I don't know if I'm going to go see it yet, but that clip, it was like I never seen a war movie on IMAX, and I'm considering it because it looked really good. It looked like it reminded me of the Lord of the Rings video game as far as like the scale of everything, and that makes it so much better because it's on an IMAX screen. IMAX is the biggest screen you can watch a movie on, so like it was dope. But it was funny because I was like, people chilling, got their popcorn, eating, excited and stuff, and I'm tapping them on the shoulder like, is this the right movie?
Yeah.
Like I was so confused at first, but no, I really want to know how much they spent on that. There was like maybe 10 minutes, I believe.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it was a long
wow,
clip.
we were late.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I caught the last like 20 seconds of
I
it.
didn't see no trailers. I just saw that clip, and I was like, am I in the right
okay.
movie? So yeah, we finally, got that situated.
Sounds like it was the right move because you already know it's going to be the same audience.
The same audience,
So.
people who love cinema.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
But the movie was amazing. I actually brought my little cover this time because I knew it was going to be in there.
Yeah, it was cold in there.
It was cold, but I just
Yeah.
knew it was going to be a long sitting, so I wanted to get comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. I said that like this is like my 4th or 5th time, but I guess we should just get started. Like, I really appreciated the storytelling in this movie, and the type of story it was is a very brutal, true story, by the way.
Yeah.
True. That's crazy to think that
This is actually part of American history. when
a
you
part
think
of
about it.
American history, and that these men was really taking advantage of the women in Osage County.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
really interesting. I really didn't know that there was like that whole situation of these white men coming in specifically to marry Indian women or indigenous women. That was
my
like
gosh.
very
The
interesting.
Betrayal,
Yeah.
trust issues. I was like, watching this movie is the reason why I don't trust nobody right now. Like,
Yeah.
it was just
To
crazy.
show you what lengths people will go to,
just for some money.
Just for some
Well,
money.
not just for money. We know money,
I
but
mean, it
it's
was
just,
wealth, but still.
I was like, the way, like, when you think of marriage, it's so nasty what they was doing because marriage is so sacred.
Right.
These women truly trusted their husbands.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
your husband. You know?
And they the one people like
They
they
was
showed in
killing
the
them.
beginning. The dude just shot her in the chest.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
That was so
nasty. And then when
nasty.
it got the baby, I'm like,
got
yo.
the baby, killed the woman.
Like, is money really worth all that? Like, that's wild.
It's sad. And just to think that everybody know about how Christopher Columbus discovered America and we pushed the Indians out the way. And, okay, they sent them over here. Lo and behold, hey, this land got oil.
Yeah.
They become rich.
Right.
But then we want to take that from them, too.
It's horrible. It's like getting backstabbed twice. You know what I'm saying? In the same wound.
Yes. So the story was just like, it was painful to watch, but it was a necessary story to tell.
Yeah.
And I think Martin Scorsese did a really good job of telling this story. And I know there's some controversy around it from Native Americans, which they have every right, because this is a story being told by the white man. And it would be nice to see people tell their own stories.
Yeah, true.
You know, that would be nice.
It's a story where I wouldn't be mad having like indigenous directors or writers come and make their own version of the exact same story, because
I would like to see that.
I would like to know what were they thinking, or what could they be thinking from that perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we saw a little bit of it, but at the end of the day, you can't. Scorsese isn't going to be able to get that in depth into that perspective. So.
And they adapted it from a book. It's a amazing book. I haven't read it, but everybody said it was good.
Yeah.
And they've been working on this project for a long time. And also, Scorsese said Leo had this idea, and they completely scrapped what they had and did like a whole rewrite and shifted the story. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they said studios was kind of, scared of that, disappointed, so they kind of shied away from that. But I feel like they worked out. And when you're working with like people passionate for storytelling, like Robert De Niro and all of them, I think in those instances that can work.
Yeah.
You think they're elite, basically. They're the top of the cream of the crop and all of that.
It's like if there's anybody you could trust, it's them.
Right.
You know? I mean, personally, whatever change they made, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was done very well, especially the nuance. There was so much. I mean, there was a lot of nuance, and then sometimes there weren't. But at the same time, the nuance was really in the portrayal of Leonardo's character.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
That's a hard character to play.
It was a very hard character, and it was an equally hard character to write, because it's like, how do I feel sympathy for someone that's doing something like this?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to figure out if I ever had sympathy for him, and I think the sympathy part came in for me with the Leo character. Was the fact that he was just a fool and being manipulated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the only sympathy. I was like, this guy is just a puppet here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's not making his own decisions. He's just a straight puppet. That was where the sympathy came at. But everything else, there was no sympathy, because they showed, like, okay, he has poor judgment. He has poor character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In my fact, in the very beginning, he told us exactly who he was.
Yeah.
He said, I'm greedy.
Right.
I love some women. I do love money. He said that.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know why he said that, and yet we were still surprised how everything,
and that's the point. That's the thing. It's like, you say you love, well, first of all, he said he loved money and women, and yet in this arc, he literally had to choose between both
money and women,
and it was interesting seeing how he was trying to really. But he didn't want to choose both.
He wanted all, and that's where the greediness was at.
Yeah,
he wanted the wife, the kids, but he wanted, And
he honestly could have chosen to just stayed by Molly's side the entire time, but then you don't have a story. You don't have a movie. You
don't have a story. That conflict, that inner conflict, and the betrayal.
Yeah.
So Leo, he did his thing, man. I was so surprised that Leo. First of all, it couldn't have been just anybody. Right. Leo got a spanking by a grown man.
With a paddle, though. No, he got paddled.
Like he was pledged for some fraternity.
Right.
By a grown man. Oh, my gosh. It was so funny and embarrassing. And I was just like, I can't believe Leo did that scene. But at the same time, I loved it because it shows his dedication. He's not one of those actors. You got some actors out here who just do stuff because they just want to look cool.
Yeah.
He didn't look cool in that moment. Okay? He did not look cool. He looked like a complete fool getting whooped by, Robert De Niro's character. Yeah. And I get this. It couldn't just be anybody. You can't have any Joe Schmo think they about to spank Leo on camera. I don't care if it's a movie or not.
Yeah.
It had to be Robert De Niro.
Tatum or somebody.
It had to be Robert De Niro. It had to be a GOAT. You can't just get spanked by, me.
Could you
I'm
imagine?
on camera. Yeah, no.
Or like, what if it was like Luis Guzman? Like that would have been like, yo, this is crazy.
If I'm getting spanked on camera, it's gonna have to be by Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Or Al Pacino.
Or like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that.
It can't just be by, Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting. What's some other takeaways or other things that you liked about the movie?
What you were saying about the storytelling to me was 100% there. Also, I do wanted to point out, is this the first Apple original film in theaters?
I'm not 100%
I'm not sure.
Because since the pandemic, stuff just be hitting straight streaming, theater at the same. No, Denzel Washington movie was in theaters. The one, it was about Shakespeare.
The
that
Macbeth?
one hit theaters. Yeah, Macbeth was, so it's not the first one.
So I'm not familiar with that, but I did think, I was like, man, if this is their first one, they knocked it out the park immediately, right? But the storytelling in this one was so fundamental. Like we were talking about how there was nothing super over the top or spectacular about the way this movie was produced. It was very cut and dry, very fundamental oriented. I highly doubt there was any CG elements or like anything like that.
There was, but their CG elements isn't going to be as extreme as Marvel.
A Marvel or something, or like
maybe a couple explosions, or it did look like everything was practical, but whatever you can do to tell the story, make sure it's authentic as possible, and be able to actually get it done. Well, can't really confirm if it was or not, but you never know.
Felt like the majority of this movie was practical, and I definitely appreciated that, especially with some of the gore and some of the just visceral violence that was in this movie. It felt very practical, and I thought it was very well done, because I feel like that it heightened the storytelling.
It really did.
Like a lot of these storytelling elements, like I said, are just very fundamental, and I want to see more of that. That's
just the
also
fundamentals, man. Just focus on telling the story.
Exactly, yeah.
Let the story be the star.
Exactly.
And everything
else complements
the story.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I like, because I went to film school, and sometimes you just be so anxious, you just want to make a movie.
Yeah.
And our professors, they'll have us watch what's the movie with Rosebud?
Oh, Citizen Kane, yeah.
I remember, Citizen Kane, and you don't want to watch Citizen Kane, but you want to, you want to do a Marvel movie, you want to do Wakanda, but the fundamentals, people, keep it simple, stupid. It's like wide shot, close up, insert, like you don't have to be over the top to tell a good story, and that's one thing I liked. It was nothing flashy. It was just pure cinema, fundamentals. It boils back down to basketball. When you first learn the sport, what do you have to learn first? You have to learn the fundamentals. I have to learn how to pass. I have to learn how to block somebody out in post. I have to learn how to dribble. And these things that filmmakers, sometimes I feel like they neglect. I don't know, maybe because of social media, everything is just so flashy. People just want to, they want content like this back to back, back to back. And we're just trying to keep their attention. But like with movie making, it's so different. Right. You can't approach movies the same way you approach your content. But if you are a social media content creator.
But even with content, I think that, like you said, I think a lot of people are just confused that they don't see the rest of the process. So they think those other elements are missing, and they really are there.
Right.
It's just that you didn't get to see the behind the scenes, or you don't understand the fundamentals, so you don't understand how it plays into it. Exactly.
And that's the reason why you have to learn the fundamentals. You have to learn
for everything you do, really.
You have to learn, why does this work?
Exactly.
Not that it works for some reason. I don't know. I lucked out. No, why do it work?
Why does it work? You have to understand.
You have to know the technicality, the principle behind it. And that's one thing I really loved about this movie, because it almost felt like a masterclass for me. I was sitting there trying to enjoy the movie, but I was also studying at the same time and taking notes, because as a budding filmmaker myself, I just want to be the best at what I do. And whatever that may look like, that's what it looked like. But at the end of the day, I want to do it the correct way.
Yep, for sure.
I don't want to be about the flash. No, I want to do it the right way. So that was really dope to see.
Yeah, 100%.
What else what else?
So I would definitely say the performances in this one, but I feel like that's just a no-brainer. Like,
the holy
I can't
trinity
even tell
of
you.
Cinema.
I can't even tell you about Leo and Robert De Niro. That's like obvious. So I'll talk about the Osage people, like them,
yes.
because that was what was new and
The
interesting.
actors. I don't know where they found the actors.
Like they were really good. You know?
Lady.
Yeah, Molly.
Yeah,
she was so
Molly
good.
has this thing. She just like breathtaking on screen.
Yeah,
and it's
very subtle.
Yeah,
so subtle.
So
like that,
subtle.
I think
but
people
you felt
really
her
need
power.
to.
You felt that she was rich. You felt
exactly
how sure she was of herself and her people in the very beginning.
Yeah, and it's very important. If you know what, just like what she was saying, I think this is a film that everybody, if you want to work in film, you need to study this movie, because it's great to see a movie of this stature by a director of this stature, and it's still upholding everything about cinema in today's age.
Yeah.
There's so many movies that I feel like are trying to circumvent what you need to do in cinema.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it takes too long, or nobody cares, we can't market it, all these other excuses. But here comes Scorsese, and once again, like you said, he put on a clinic. Yeah. And like everybody, the acting, if you want to be an actor, you need to study this film.
Yeah.
You need to study how to portray nuance in, like Leonardo's character did, or subtlety, like Shan was saying, in Molly's character.
Look,
or you know, what was De Niro's character? His was very
he was the antagonist.
So two-faced. Like, it was crazy how two-faced. We never even really saw his.
What they do?
His
smile up in your face.
You
all
know,
alone they wanna backstab us.
They did a great job with not really showing you his true character until closer to the end.
Yeah,
like literally the first 75% of the movie, he didn't seem like the person he truly was.
Right.
You know?
In the beginning, and that's how manipulation worked.
Right.
Because I even asked Chris, I was like, why Leo let him do that? But I was like, when you trust people,
exactly.
It was the disposition. He looked up to this man. He respected this man.
Exactly, yeah.
This man told him, come on down here,
nephew,
you come work with me, you know?
Not just him, the entire community. The entire community trusted this person with their safety and really well-being. Did. You know?
And that's the reason why, man, you got to be careful with the people you trust.
Yeah, man.
The people you work with, especially in the entertainment industry. Yeah. So many two-faced people.
Man.
But if you're able to pick up those signs early on, you'll be able to, see it, react, and get out the way.
Right. Exactly.
But that's my advice to everybody. But yeah, Robert De Niro, he did a really good job, and can't really say much, because what else do we expect from Robert De Niro? One thing I did like about this film, though, I've been talking to some actors, and one thing I've really been trying to work on is their face, right? You can't just have one face on screen the entire time. You got to be able to portray different type of emotions. Exactly. I need to see you anger. I need to see you confused. I need to see jealousy. And
what do those even look like?
Right.
You know, like what does your eye do? What does your nose do?
Right.
You know?
It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
And one face in particular, Robert De Niro, and I was laughing. We all was laughing at the theater because I was like, Robert De Niro, he was just so entertaining.
Yeah.
And we was laughing at moments. I don't even know if it was funny, but it was just so entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Especially when he was asking Leo, he's like, I love women. And he was like, all right, I got to watch you. It's crazy. That whole conversation is basically the movie.
He was
like, I need to keep my eye on you, Leo. And he knew he had to. Leo was messing, man, when Leo told him that he got Molly pregnant again.
Oh, he was so mad.
The look he gave Leo. That look right there is the same look your mama give you when she say, go in the kitchen, go give me that knife. You be like, I can't find it. And she go in there and get it in 2 seconds. And she look at you, and you be like,
yeah.
Same look.
Yeah.
But I was going to make this post because that look was so important to me, because is
that the part you were talking about, or are you talking about the part when he wanted him to sign the thing?
No, it was the look when he found out that Leo got that girl pregnant again. Okay. He wasn't happy. But it reminded me of the same look he gave in Meet the Parents.
Oh, okay.
Meet the Parents is a comedy. This was a drama. The context is the same. No, the context was the same. He was not too fond of Ben Stiller's character in Meet the Parents.
Right.
He gave him this look. He was like, the same look in Goodfellas when the fat guy was about to die. He was, it was the same look because of the context, but he was able to switch it around because of the genre.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was amazing to me that I was able to pick up on that and identify with that and just I went back and just looked at those 3 looks on his faces. I got to show it to you.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I might pull it up on here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's amazing. Cool. That's acting right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, we can't get too much into it because this man been acting. As I get older, you know, like when you're younger, you fear of getting old, right? I'm actually looking forward to getting older and to
having that experience.
That experience is
it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off to everything because maybe your output goes down because like this is for De Niro's first movie since Irishman, I think. So your output goes down, but the quality goes through the roof exponentially, right? So it's a trade-off. It's always a trade-off. You know?
And I want that experience so bad, even with LeBron James.
Yeah, to be able to produce at that level.
The way LeBron James is able to perform on the court.
Yeah.
And his experience.
Yeah.
Think about having a LeBron James on your team.
Yep.
With that type of experience, he's going to affect everybody around him, all those young players.
Exactly.
And I see it even with Leo. Like, I've been watching Leo act since Growing Pains. He was a kid. Man, it's this show, family show.
Okay.
You know, DJ from Full House, her brother, Ben something.
I ain't watched none of these shows.
Robin Thicke's dad is the father in this show.
Okay.
And Leo was in here in the show as a troubled kid who was, you know, probably didn't have no good parents, and he ended up starting living with the parents.
Okay.
I've been watching Leo act as a kid. I think Leo just celebrated his 49th or 50th birthday. And when I tell you, I see the progression in this man's career. I see the progression in this man acting with every movie from the Titanic. That used to be one of my That used to be one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
From the Titanic to the movie he did with Tom Hanks, Catch Me If You Can. To man, I see
The Aviator.
The Aviator. I see
Inception.
it, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah.
And just like Martin Scorsese said, you can the time and the experience. Leo don't have to do that no more, guys. He's probably #1 actor in Hollywood.
I mean,
he
he's
can do
proved
whatever
himself.
he want to do with the snap of his fingers in Hollywood. He don't have to get better. He don't have to put in the work no more, okay?
Yeah, true.
But he do it. He does it because he loves it.
Yeah, it's about the craft. It's not
about the craft.
everything else.
He don't have to do that no more.
Exactly.
Same with Martin Scorsese. He could have pulled up and halfway did this if he wanted to.
Speaking of which, so I'm glad you brought up Scorsese because it's the same with him. Like, he didn't have to do The Irishman. He didn't have to do this movie, but it's the dedication to the craft, right? And this, to me, it was, once again, and this is, how old is Scorsese? Probably almost 80 at this point, maybe mid to late 70s.
He up there.
And there's elements in this film that I feel like he probably still learned. Like, the perfect example was that shot with the fire and the heat waves.
Ooh,
that shot was so amazing. And I'm like,
that shot was dope.
But who else would you expect to be able to discover that shot besides Scorsese, right? Who else has the eye for cinema and the eye to be able? It was literally watching a moving painting. You know, it was amazing.
Because it was kind of warped. It reminded me of a Monet painting.
Exactly. It was very warped. And really, you were just seeing like shapes of people, like silhouettes.
Yeah.
But because of the fire, it's like they look like demons. But then with the context of what they're
and what
doing,
was going on
they're
with the
actually
song.
acting
Wasn't
like,
the song was like
I
burn
can't
this
remember
town
the song.
down? Or
I think so.
I think that's what the energy represented. They came and burnt this town down.
So think about all of those elements put together. Once again, like I said, it's just a masterclass in filmmaking.
It is a masterclass, and I'm just so happy that we get the chance to watch great movies like this. This is something I really love and love to do. And man, like I said, the Native Americans, I don't know where they found those actors. I know they was probably hard to find.
Right.
They did a good job because they was at this meeting, and this one they was like, hold up. Too many people is down. We got to figure this out.
Right.
So they do like a town hall, and he said, we got this money, and when we got the money, it came with something, and now we have a target on our back. The power behind those words. Every race could kind of identify with that, especially minorities, from blacks to Hispanics to Native Americans to whoever, Jews. And the actors across the board did a really good job, and you could tell Martin Scorsese, he didn't just pull it up like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this movie, we Hollywood. Nah, that's not how it works. Whenever you go into somebody's town, regardless if it's professional or not, The hood, no. You need to go talk to the people.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to go talk to the bosses there.
Yeah.
You need to go talk to the community. You just don't pull up and just say, we're going to do this and that's it.
Exactly.
Like, no, that's not how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I could tell he did that. And, you know, I watched BTS and he said he had conversations with the Osage people and things like that.
Right.
You can tell.
Right.
You can tell.
You not only that, you're actually portraying their culture.
Exactly.
So you have to do a justice not only to them but to the story itself.
Exactly.
To talk to these people and make sure that they get their input and they get their saying what it should and shouldn't be done.
Right.
You know, so
you just can't pull up to unknown land and just, we're going to pull up these cameras and unknown. You need to go talk to the head people. You need to talk to the community. You got to figure it out. You need to tell this story as authentically as you can because this is such a very delicate situation still.
Very, yeah.
This is triggering to some people.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Just like how I was watching, what's the Black Judas?
Black Judas.
The Black Judas and Messiah.
Yeah, Judas and the Black
That movie
Messiah,
was triggering to me.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
was an amazing movie, but that triggered me.
Right,
I felt sad. So there is a group of people.
Or a better example is the ending of Snowfall.
Right.
That last episode, you
felt
know.
sad.
That episode
So it
is
may
very
be entertainment to some, but to some people, it's trauma, generational trauma,
exactly.
pain that they never got over.
Exactly.
So that's something we got to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that they told this story. It was a very important story to tell.
For sure.
I even watched the documentary because I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me
that this actually
these
happened?
men pulled up, was marrying these, not going with, marrying these people. You knew what marriage meant back then.
Exactly, yeah.
Marriage today is a little different. People get married, they get divorced 6 months later. It wasn't like that back then.
Exactly.
You know? So just the portrayal. Man. Anything else you want to talk about? What about cinematography? The cinematography was simple. It was gorgeous.
Get into that. we're like at time, like past time. But if you want to keep going,
yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. So
we got 10 minutes left.
Okay. Well, so when it comes to the cinematography, like I said, it was very fundamental. You got your wides, you got your close-ups, you got your two shots, you got all of that. And every now and then you have like a dolly or a crane, a jib, you know, that kind of adds a little more movement.
You know, he got to do his, he loved those push-ins,
exactly,
that's his thing.
That type of stuff. But then there's also, like I said, all of a sudden you have this shot of through the fire, warping the image and all of that. You have
slow-mo shot of the mud.
Was a slow-mo shot? Oh, of the oil when they find the oil and it's raining. And then the very last shot, that top-down pull-out of them in the prayer circle or whatever they were doing. So, like...
That was a good shot, too.
Yeah, that was an amazing... It was an amazing shot to end on. So, like...
It was.
What I think...
So, we got to talk about... We have to talk about the runtime, right?
Uh-huh.
Me, personally, I don't mind a long movie, a 3.5 hours movie.
Yeah.
But I get it. Some people at the movie theaters, they was doing intermissions. Intermissions.
Oh, yeah.
And, Scorsese didn't like that, which I respect because, like, when you watch a movie, you really have to sit and watch it all together because it loses the momentum. Right? It's not a play.
Right.
It's not set up for that. So.
And, 3 hours is long, but, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like...
I really don't mind. I love long movies. And the reason why I love long movies because normally if they're long, it's the type of stories that they're telling in 3 hours and 30 minutes. This isn't Marvel, right? It's not about to just wrap up in the next few weeks. Like, we gotta kill this ghost in 7 days. No. The reason why the movie is like the type of stories that Scorsese tells is stories that deal with character arcs that happen over time. Yeah. So in the beginning, you can't tell this story from when Leo first arrived to this county and stuff just started happening in an hour. It's not gonna happen, right? Yeah. But what you can do is show the character choices and how it affects them. And that's how real life plays out. Yeah, exactly. For example, in Goodfellas, Ray Liotta's character, we see him join. Ever since I could remember, I wanted to be a gangster. Mm-hmm. We saw him join the game when he was a kid. Right. You can't tell that story of his progression from, everybody's seen that movie, but turning into a snitch. It can't happen that fast. We seen his choices. We seen the outcome. Some outcome was positive, some was negative. We seen De Niro flipped on him, wanted to kill him. We've seen all of that, and that's how real life is played out. And sometimes with those type of stories, you have to have a longer runtime. You can't tell that story in an hour, guys.
That's why that type of runtime is you give that respect to someone like Scorsese, because you know that's what he's touching on, and so you warrant giving him that amount of time, as opposed to somebody like maybe Michael Bay. It's like there's only so many explosions you can watch. You don't want to watch 3 hours worth, right?
Right.
So
we would probably never see no 3-hour action movie.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
And then like to what you say, like not only is it over time, but it's a dramatic difference between where the characters begin and where they end. The character that we see in the very beginning just got home from the war. Is single. It has nothing to his name other than his family, and then he doesn't have any children, nothing like that. But at the end, he has kids. One of them he loses. He's gone through all of these things. Like, that's not something. In order to have as much impact as you're saying, you can't possibly cover all of that.
Do that. You gotta get like it's gotta be a 3-hour script, and then people are struggling writing regular scripts like 60 minutes. I can only imagine how much work it takes to make sure over a 3-hour movie script is intact. Telling the story the correct way, that's a lot of work.
With no plot holes.
No
and
plot
nothing
holes,
like that.
no nothing. That's a lot of work. So man, you just got respect cinema. And that's it. That's our time. Thank you guys for watching. Flower the Killer's Move was amazing. You guys got to go watch the Holy Trinity of Cinema, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, and Leo on the big screen if you can. If not, you'll be able to watch it on Apple TV soon.
Yep.
All right, that's it.